And I will wait till you come up. I have you over here.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi,
Excited for
everyone that's
today.
watching. Happy New Year. I know I said that to the little live that I did last week, and I think I spoke with someone last week as well. Anyway, lovely to see you.
You
We,
too.
yeah, haven't done one of these for a while, and it's where well, we'll do a little talk before, but then you can ask Alicia any questions. And I suppose you use your body pendulum mostly, but got the pendulum as well. So I had mine here earlier.
Yeah, bring yours too, Jackie. Come
Oh,
on. I love
unbelievable.
this. You know, I'm always showing you to pick it
I
up.
know, but I haven't got it and I'm not going to go now and get it. So
All
anyway,
right.
but
Well, you
that's all
can use
good.
your body. You use your body.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. I can't believe I haven't got one in here because I've got that many. But anyway, okay. So we were talking earlier in the week, Alicia and I. Alicia's Awake and Inspired on Facebook.
And
And I'm
It's Alicia Hussey. I never really say my last name, but it's Alicia
Alicia
Hussey.
Hussey. But when you're looking for your page on Facebook, it's Awake and Inspired.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah. And mine is Inspirations PLG, which is short for Positive Living Group. I never used to say what it was short for, but it makes no sense if you don't. So anyway, but how funny, Inspirations and you're Awake and Inspired, you know.
And funnier that we just realized that now.
I know. Yeah, all the time we've been talking, you know. So yeah, we were speaking earlier in the week, which was really lovely to catch up because we haven't spoken for a while, and you've had a very big birthday and loads of celebrations at the end of last year. And so yeah, we sort of didn't get in touch much. And while I was speaking, the computer goes that there's a background picture keeps coming up, all different pictures keep coming up. And these pictures have been coming up and coming up. But when a picture of Joe and I got married like 40 odd years ago, it came up and it just looks so nice. We were in the car and I turned the phone to show Alicia and brought it back to me. And then the next picture that came up was the monks walking for peace. I would not have given that a second thought. So, but I turned the phone back to Alicia to show her the monks. I said, have you seen the monks that are walking for peace 2,400 miles in America? I mean, it's just the most beautiful, amazing thing. Because I read a piece, you know, when the monks feel it's time to go and walk, you know, there's something to walk for. And,
Mm.
you know, they're walking for peace. So it's making so, and thousands of people are coming out and they got nothing with them. They're just relying on drinks and food from people along the way. Flowers, everything's being given to them because they don't want to be carrying all this stuff. But anyway, it's lovely, you know, and everyone's making posters. Anyway, I wouldn't have thought of this, but Alicia said, what's the relevance of those two? And at the same time, it come up for me, whatever time it was, but it was 11:11 for you,
It was
wasn't it?
11:11 for me. So, and what we were talking about right before this happened was basically how I sort of read information in synchronicities and numbers, and I was saying to Jackie how, I've been in training for this for at least like 5 to 7 years, right? So I've been saying, so I'm used to sort of finding the signs and reading them in my moment, and then this happens right then. And then so we used it as like an actual, okay, what is this trying to say to us? So what was it trying to say to you, Jackie?
Oh, so you went in and asked that question. I never would have even considered it, not to think there was a link between and Joe, even earlier today, I don't know, many of you that watch this, I'm a flat earther. I do believe the earth is flat. And so something had come up on him. Joe does not believe in any way. And I gave all the examples of why I believe it's flat earth. And we had Fiona this side, and she was absolutely convinced we're on a spinning ball going at 1,100 miles an hour. Anyway, so they were both, and I'm the one. So the point what I'm making is Joe is, pretty grounded on 3D in a way. And I could be off with the fairies and anyone hearing me say I'm flat earther probably think I am. The thing is, he keeps me grounded, and the monks are very grounded, aren't
Hmm.
they?
Yes. So the wedding picture was your partnership in your life. And then
Mm,
the next picture, in addition to the monks, was also your partners in this new earth awakening, where so we were all coming, your partners, the monks, that was the other reference. And then the timestamps of 11:11 were the confirmation, and 11:11 is transformation and new beginnings. And so yeah, so what we were trying to I was trying to say is that this is how I interpret um, messages, signals from, through my other clairs, through my other clairs.
yeah.
So my claircognizance are drops or knowings. My clairsentience, which is my primary clair, is the feeling. So my body will tell me things if I'm working with someone and all of a sudden my throat goes. I know if I'm working with someone in session that it's not my throat. I will check, is it mine? And I'll use my body because again, I'm a sentient. So that's my first sort of check and balance beyond my ears, eyes, smell. But what I was trying to say was that this is how we use our clairs. This is how we tune in because the clairs are beyond our 4 or 5 senses that we're used to experiencing. And the messages and the signals come in all kinds of different ways, and that we just need to sort of be aware, open, um, to hear, see, perceive in all the different ways. And one of the major ways is synchronicities, or so the other thing we want to talk about today was this week seems to be full of them.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else has experienced. We were really curious, Jackie and I talking earlier, to sort of ask you who's here. Have you been what has this week been like since sort of we turned the calendar over, but specifically like the weekend to now? Um, Talk about sign signals and synchronicities. I was telling Jackie just how much I'm feeling that there is huge shifts happening. There is in our sort of 3D world that you can look to say, yeah, this is a turbulent, but we've been in turbulence for 5 years. So like,
Mm.
I mean, right? Um, but in your individual lives, what has the last couple of days been like? Have there been interesting synchronicities like what Jackie was telling you about? Have there been number sequences, 111s, 33? I've had them all week, like all week,
Like,
in multiple times a day, and in times, or that I see a picture of something, or I think of someone and I see them. Well, this happened to you today.
exactly, yeah. Like literally this morning, I just happened to see this card in the front, uh, and I thought, oh, he come and serviced the boiler last week, so I will put it in the diary because he said get in touch with me in May, and I'll come back and do. I can't remember what it was, but he's going to do something in May, so he'll know what it is. And so I went and wrote it in May. Get in touch with Steve about whatever he's going to do to the boiler in May. And then I went off to Morrison's to do the shopping. And as I walked in, Steve walked out. Like
Mm.
he came here for the first time last week. Um, very nice chap, very friendly, and yeah, of all the people. And I'd just written that in the diary. And he's the first person I see afterward. I mean, just amazing, really. But that was
Yeah.
just, a simple thing. Fiona, who lives here with my son's girlfriend, she said she feels like she's out of her body this week because so
Yes.
much has happened.
So
And
there's some like interesting symptoms that can point to this beyond the way that, by seeing a synchronicity, or, things like like physical feeling, off. Some people feel it negatively too. Some people can, and they're called ascension symptoms, but they're called ascension symptoms because you're actually shifting. So whether your cells are shifting in your physical body, or even some of your clairs have come on a little stronger, that can make you feel out of your body. That can make you feel uncentered. That can cause symptoms even like ear ringing and a lot of these other things, right? So when people say, oh, I have ascension symptoms, um, you know, take it with a ascension symptoms is still a signal. So a signal that you're out of alignment, or you're not in alignment, or you're not in your sort of your frequency isn't in balance, right? So yeah, this it's the interpretation of what we're moving through right now is very interesting. And for those who have eyes to see,
Hmm.
right?
Because that's the awareness or the healing that we're talking about as well tonight. You know, heal yourself. We can heal ourselves. And the best way to heal yourself is to love yourself. I just saw a 1.5 minute clip of Anita Moorjani. Do you know Anita Moorjani?
I don't.
Oh, honestly, I'm going to send you that clip.
That's what
I'll
you're
try
here
and
for.
share it as well.
That's why you're in my life. You bring me all these amazing people. You are the people collector, Jackie.
Honestly, well, I went to see her in London 2 years, no, not last November, the November before, with Ellie, and quite incredible. But I've seen her before in Birmingham a few years ago. Anyway, Wayne Dyer brought her to the attention of everyone. Amazing story that she's got. But her whole 1.5 minutes is she never got better until she started to love herself.
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
she was very, very poorly, but as soon as she had her out of near-death experience, and came back, you know, she was riddled with cancer. But after the near-death experience, she came back, knew there was no cancer left in her body, even though she was a skeleton at the time, and then came back with no cancer in her body. They could not find any cancer, and she knew from then on, like on the other side, and what she'd learned was how important. She'd never loved herself. Um,
Yes.
you know, and it's not just words to say you've got to love yourself. It really is just so important to actually send love to yourself. I've also heard Wayne Dyer speak about before you go to sleep at night, send love to every cell in your body, speak
Yes.
lovingly to yourself, you know, as you would to the most loving person in your life. Do that to yourself.
And this really is the key to, a lot of people talk about, oh, I want to be ascending, I want ascension, I want enlightenment. Well, the key to that is loving yourself.
Mhm.
And it's not just a thing we say. And I like to add another layer to that because I feel like this is kind of what I do for a living is um I actually look at, so we're going to ask some questions here, right? But what
Yes.
I believe from all of the thousands of people I've worked with to this point is the barrier to enlightenment, higher consciousness, ascension, whatever you want to call it, um, is moving from one reality to the next, one that's more dense, in which you lived in for most of your existence. Most people wake up slowly throughout their lives or get
Yeah.
enlightened or shift. um, and then the key to that is loving yourself because it's the blocks in your primary energy centers, like your heart, your third eye, your sacral, your root, which come through trauma, programming, all of the things, and not just from this lifetime, but from past and from our ancestors. So the key to the loving yourself is getting past the survival, right? It's the survival and it's the stories we tell ourselves. So until our minds and our egos and our bodies who have kept us safe over, I would say, over here in the suffering or in the 3D or the third dimensional reality, I don't care what you call it, density doesn't matter to me, until you can identify or observe yourself. It's a very personal journey, this awakening. We're doing it as a collective, but it's also extremely personal. So until you can actually observe yourself from this version of you, okay, with that's not just sort of plugged in to all of the storylines, the belief systems over here, even that your body still thinks is the proof, right? So the cancer, for example, or the depression, or and I'm not saying none of these things exist. But I personally have experienced miraculous healing from lots of physical, um, you know, diagnoses, and mental diagnoses,
Hmm.
uh, that, before would have been, and maybe it was again my own belief system, but, would have been a miracle to be on the other side of such diagnoses, and there's lots of different things. So what I've learned is that it's actually the disease and the body and the mind's way of prompting us to evolve when we have an activation of illness or mental illness or that sort of thing. It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
It is fascinating, and the more we hear it, the more we believe it as well, to know that that is the truth. So just for time and everything, I know there's going to be questions tonight, and I've already got a question that's come in. So can we start with that one, and then we'll look if there's any others that have come in?
Absolutely. Yep.
So
I guess so those that are new here, I'll just sort of quickly explain
yes,
my process. So like I just sort of acknowledged, my job, my role is to be the medium to your higher self. So as you're bringing in your questions, you're giving me permission. I will always ask as well. It's very important.
very
I'm
important.
as much as I would say I'm more a mentor and a teacher than I am a healer, because the truth is if any question that you're bringing to the table here right now, it's not me, it's your higher self showing me what you need to hear right now. So in essence, you're healing yourself. I am just the reflector back to you, showing you how to do it. So that's how this works. So when you ask me a question today, I will be tuning into your higher self, your teams of light who come in through your higher self. And your higher self is connected directly to source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, creator. And that's how this works. And then your higher self will show me in priority order what you need to hear as far as you know, based on what your question is, sort of what the root is and what you need to hear first. So the answer may be energetic, it may be spiritual, it may be emotional, it may be physical, it may be related to childhood, it may be related to past life, ancestral. There's so many variables, but I'm asking your higher self to show me in my answer to you today what you need to hear.
Love it.
That's how it works.
And it's just amazing, yeah, because I've had that experience of, Alicia, you didn't, when that thing happened with the wedding and the monks, and then you found that I had something blocking in my throat, and you cleared, well, I don't say you cleared it, but, well, I think you
Well,
cleared
you
it.
did. I just showed you.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So that's incredible.
Yes.
Anyway,
Your
so are
body,
we okay?
your body is your map. So
Yeah,
anything that's going on, also the things that are happening in your life are also a map. That's, toggling it back to what we're talking about to begin with about the synchronicities and the signs, those are all your confirmations of everything that I'm saying here right now, which is really cool. Anyway, I will let you guide the questions and I will tune in.
wonderful. So this question that came in earlier, I'm a 47-year-old single mum of 2 girls. Life has been very challenging, to say the least. I've picked myself up so many times, tried to be positive on my outlook. I truly would love to make my life more secure, but feel that I'm treading in treacle, feel surrounded in negativity. All doors are closing in my face. So that was basically the question. There is a lot more to that, because I do know a bit about this lovely girl. Yeah, and it does seem very difficult for her.
Okay. So I'm going to tune in right now and connect with her higher self. I hope she's here. What's her name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Uh, okay, so the
She,
first thing, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, she may not be, but there is someone looking in for her,
Okay, and she can
for
see this
sure.
one. Yes. Okay, so the first thing that's coming into to me, and I think this is, please remember when you're, those of you who are listening and those who don't get an answer to your question today, you're here for a reason, which means that something that I am going to say might also be related to you. So for Lisa specifically, what I'm getting is this roadblock that keeps sort of coming up in your life, Lisa, over and over and over again. This whole like notion that nothing seems to go my way, or everyone else is, this successful in this way, or I can't seem to get past this, whether it's scarcity or things not working out for me or all of the things. Uh, what will happen is your higher self is trying to show you that it's time to evolve out of that suffering. It's exactly what I called it before. Okay. And we've all been in it. We've all been in the loops. You can call them karmic loops. You can call them whatever you want. Okay. However, when you are in an active state of nothing seems to be working, every one of us can say we've been there. Okay. Now, that is your call to action. There is something that your higher self is trying to show you if everyone else around you seems to be doing well and you're not. So specifically, that is the message to you that your higher self's knocking. God creator's knocking. It's time for you to look. Okay. I'm also hearing that I need to explain that we also spellcast ourselves. So what we do, and usually this is when we're in the suffering, is we say things like, um, I can't get that job, or I'm not going to find someone who loves me, or nothing ever works out for me. And I am getting that you are looping in those, and those are spellcasts. You might want to call them belief systems or beliefs. Okay. And you're also picking up off of, so the other piece of this for her is there's an ancestral piece of this too. That's so unfortunately, even if you have other siblings that don't seem to be going through what you're going through, you're the one who is to identify these loops. Okay. So it feels to me like these loops are scarcity, um, not being supported in partnership or relationship, doing it on my own. Nothing ever works out for me. So I am also getting that there are some karmic loops. Now, let me explain what karma really means. Karma is here just to show us, it's to teach us. There's, you have a loop, like let's say you keep repeating a narcissistic relationship. That could be a karmic loop, even with a specific person, in which you may have a contract or agreement with to do this in this lifetime and may have done it before. Okay. Or it may be a repetitive pattern of your ancestral lineage, but it's happening so you can see it. So you can see it and you can break it. So, in essence, everything that you're going through, Lisa, right now is literally a menu in priority order of what you're to look at right now and break down what is truth, what is a belief system, what is a pattern, what is a loop that's been possibly repeating in your life, but also others in your family lineage. And I am getting it's very strongly your mother's side. Um, all of these concepts of not being supported, whether or not that your parents were divorced or not, is irrelevant. Not feeling like you have a partner, feeling like nothing's working for you, all of those things. There's also a very big block in your throat chakra. So that's related to speaking your truth, being heard. Also, it's related to you not even hearing your own truth. So anything going on up here is related to a blocked throat chakra. You also have blocks in your heart chakra, your solar plexus chakra, and your sacral chakra. Your root chakra is partially blocked, but the root chakra is really important because that's about stability, safety, and that's financial. But that's telling me, your body's telling me right now with the blocked throat or with the blocked chakras that aren't your roots partially open, but just not blocked, which shows me that the real problem is in the sacral and the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is all about achievement, being in your power, goal setting, and self-esteem. And the sacral is all about self-worth, divine feminine, creativity, flow. And those two for you, as well as the throat chakra, are all blocked. So again, in priority order, number one, to realize that you're looping and that you, instead of feeling like you can't get out of the karmic wheel or instead of feeling sorry for yourself, and I say this with love because we've all been there, okay, is to maybe realize that this is like a call to action. You know, they say emotions like, well, I know for a fact, scientifically, emotions like depression and anxiety and anger are a call to action. They're not necessarily bad emotions. They have a lower density. They make you more dense, yes, but they can be a really great call to action, as can apathy. So, apathy and depression, sort of feeling like there's nothing I can do about this, right? That is your call to action. So something needs to shift, but it has to start with you. And your higher self is making me loop back around to the fact that you are speaking it into being. So you really do believe that you cannot get out of this loop and that everybody else is succeeding around you, but you're not. There's something deeper to explore here. And your body is also showing you in the and you know what will happen if you have blocks um if you have blocks in those chakras, you're likely also having physical symptoms. It's likely manifesting into physical. So if it's here, your throat, it could be chronic colds, it could be something around the teeth, the jaws, the ears. If it's happening in your sacral, there could be digestive issues, menstrual issues, all of those kinds of things. Also in your, if it's solar plexus related, and again, all of yours are blocked, it could be presenting too as indigestion, lots of different things. So if you're also having physical symptoms of sort of what I'm mentioning, that's again a confirmation of energetic blocks that your body's just trying to get you to see, if that makes sense.
It
Is there
does.
anything else? Yeah, is there anything else?
Yes.
So
Thank
her higher self wants me to just sort of land the plane by saying this is a call out. This is a wake up call to recognize that you're keeping yourself in the loop by still speaking it into being.
So with the blocked chakras, what should she do?
So there's a couple of things, but the first thing she needs to do is recognize this message as the call to action. So as it relates to chakras, there's lots of things that you can do for chakras. But the first thing is awareness. So there are many people, I mean, I myself before 2017 had no idea what a chakra even was. So please remember that we are evolving as humans and there are lots of things that we weren't taught. So we are not just our physical bodies. I have learned this now and seen it over thousands of times, that our bodies are a map. So we also have energy centers, and it's not just the primary energy centers, the chakras, the seven that we know of in our bodies. There's also chakras above and below and behind. And a very simple exercise, if I can recommend to anybody, number one, research them if you don't know about energy centers. Normal. You can even visit my website. I've got resources. There's, my YouTube page. There's lots of chakra. There's a chakra meditation on there. But very simply, what you can imagine energetically is I bring in what I call a violet flame. Sometimes there's other energies in it, but I imagine bringing in a violet flame above my head. Okay. And and in my mind, I'm seeing it. It's all energy. We are all energy. And I see it spiraling around like this. And I bring it, and breath is also very important. So when you're doing this, center into your heart, close your eyes if that helps you, and make sure you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. With that out breath, you're also releasing the energetic frequency with your breath. Breath is extremely important. This is why they talk to you about meditation and breath work and breathing and why it's so important. So putting all those things together, bring that violet flame, imagine it moving using your breath all the way down. You don't even have to know what these chakras are called. You don't. Just bring it down. Imagine being like a little Hoover, vacuuming the energy using your breath all the way down to your feet, below your feet into what's called your earth star chakra, and then imagining also roots in your feet going into the ground. Very helpful. And then reverse that spin and imagine the energy from the earth coming up And now clockwise, send it all the way up, opening your energy centers. You can say, you can make the intention, please open and optimize my energy centers. You don't have to say what chakra it is. You can just say to their highest light potential, breathing all the way up and then coming back into your heart. And you will notice when you kind of come out of that, a shift. You will notice your body, your nervous system, something will soften. You won't be in your head as much. Even just that is a great first
Amazing.
step.
We've got loads of questions coming.
Okay.
So is that right if we finish that one? But thank
Yep.
you so much for that. And even that, you know, about the chakras. But I know someone that could help as well with chakras locally. So Helen is saying, yes, saw a good friend today, but as I was preparing to see her, I thought that she would like a bird feeder. After our meetup, she said she was just off to buy a bird feeder. Oh, so that's the synchronicity. Love that. Julie, hi, I'm doing different divinations. I do them in Messenger. I love to do reading face to face, but I have a block of getting it wrong. Is this witch wound? Thanks. Sorry. Readings face to face, but I have a block of getting it wrong. Is this a witch wound? Oh, wound. Sorry. Yeah, witch wound. Thanks.
Okay, so Julie is saying, so just confirm this, Julie, that you are doing, providing divinations or readings, I'm assuming, in Messenger. She says, I'd love to do readings face to face. Okay, so you're doing in them the readings in Messenger. So you're using your intuitive abilities, am I correct, to do readings in Messenger, but you feel a block around doing them in person. Then there's another piece here. I've been asked to do a live on TikTok or Facebook with someone else, but I'm worried that I won't get any information from the cards that I'm going to be reading. Okay. So basically, Julie, what you're saying is you're feeling, you know, you have the intuitive abilities, are confident to deliver the messages by messenger, but if it comes to something live or in person or even on, Facebook, then you're blocked. That is what's happening. Okay. So then your question is it a witch wound? Huh, interesting. I'm getting no. So I don't know whether or not you have already cleared, a quote unquote witch wound. And keep in mind for all of us, that a witch wound doesn't necessarily mean in a past life you have been a quote unquote witch. It means you may have been a healer or a sage or a seer, or a midwife, for that matter, and have been persecuted for it. It doesn't necessarily mean the witch wound doesn't mean that you were in Salem necessarily, although there have been many past lives I've seen of actual persecution like that. But for you, Julie, I'm getting no. So I'm asking for the root of this block for you. So there are many reasons for many different things, okay? But I'm asking specifically your higher self to show me what the block is right now. Okay, there could be many layers, but the witch wound isn't it. Okay, it's this lifetime. And it's childhood. Okay. And you also have some blocked energy centers, so the chakras are also talking to you. Specifically, your throat chakra is also blocked. So you are afraid to speak your truth. But I don't believe that where we are right here, right now, has something to do with a past life. It's childhood. Correct. I also see related to this a block in your solar plexus. So that's another self-esteem, being in your power issue. Interesting that the synchronicities are there, isn't it?
Yes.
Your sacral is actually open, Julie. So creativity, sort of being in your flow, being in that perspective seems open. That doesn't seem to be the problem. And your third eye is also open. So it doesn't have anything to do with your actual ability to harness your intuition or use your intuition. So what I'm seeing here is the block is specifically your throat chakra and your solar plexus. Now, your solar plexus is self-esteem. Like I said, your sacral is open, and that's self-worth. So if it's self-esteem, it's your belief in yourself. It's your belief in yourself, and it's related to childhood. And I'm going to give you an age. 5 years old, 5 years old. I'm also getting, Julie, that you had gifts and abilities as a child. You saw things, you knew things, and you were scared of it. And you were also told that it wasn't true, or that you were being overly dramatic, or you were put down. You were, told not to speak, or made fun of, specifically as a child. So is this resonating, Julie? So something specific happened at 5 that it has sort of, and the big impact is this solar plexus, because that's your power center. So that would be your fear. The fear is sort of really in that power center of your solar plexus. So this layer came from childhood. Something happened. I don't know if it was at school. Nope. Related to home or friends. Friends? Nope. I think it's home. I think it's home. So whether it's parents or siblings, you were told, if you did see things. I don't know if you remember this, Julie, but you did. And so many of us actually do experience this. So what we do as children, when we're very open as children. Our clairs are very activated. Our imagination is activated. And then what happens is through trauma, or other things that happen, belief systems, programs, education, parents, all of these other things, we shut down. We shut down. And so, Julie, this block is actually from an incident when you were 5, related to your gifts and abilities, and related to you being able to speak your truth. And so you shut down your throat chakra, and you shut down your solar plexus, and that's what needs to be addressed. So you need to go back now to that 5-year-old version of you. And the way that you do this is you just simply tune in right now. You keep your eyes open or closed, and just ask for that 5-year-old version of you to come forward. So if I was with you one-on-one in session right now, she would come. So I can see her, but you were actually there. So she will show you the kind of situation or scenario that happened, that shut you down. And please remember that trauma at 5 doesn't seem like necessarily that trauma you would think is trauma. So it could have been something as simple as your father yelling at you, or your sister making fun of you, okay? That would have shut this down. And so what we do, our souls do for protection, is we then log notice that it's not safe to be in that version of us. So it's not safe to get a download and speak it, or we'll be made fun of, or we'll be told to be quiet, or it's not safe. Okay, so that is the root of what's happening here. So, and you can feel free to reach out to me directly if you need any further information, but that's what your higher self is telling me.
Julie's saying she had a Reiki session yesterday, and he worked on her solar plexus.
Yeah, that's the primary block, but it's also your throat. But the solar plexus being your power center, that would make perfect sense so there's your confirmation. Your solar plexus is blocked. So it's blocked because your body's trying to tell you. So you literally need to even imagine. So the Reiki practitioner did that. And I always say too, anyone here can do this. If you've seen me before, I always show you to use your body pendulum, Jackie. So, and that's a very simple, tune into your heart, ask your body standing up, please show me my yes. Please show me my no. So any answers I give you here today, you can actually just ask your body pendulum. So your yes will sway one way. Mine's backwards, but it's all different. Your body will sway another way. It'll feel like a magnet's pulling. So if you want clarification on anything I'm saying here right now, just ask your body. Your body will tell you, and your body will move a certain way for your yes. So Julie, you can ask, is this accurate, that what Alicia is saying about my 5-year-old self? If your mind can't really get there, and you're kind of unsure on what I'm talking about, and it's not coming in for you, although the confirmation is that you had Reiki yesterday and he worked on your solar plexus, so there's a check. Okay, you use your body and you ask, is this accurate? Is this what my higher self is trying to tell me? Yes or no? And
Brilliant.
please remember, it's in priority order. So these answers I'm giving you right now are what your higher self wants you to know right now. So it must be sort of a major block or something that you need to look at now.
The first one that you did, I've had confirmation you were so accurate.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Yeah. And so thank you for that with Julie as well, because by her messages, I would say that was pretty good as well. I
Oh,
mean,
good.
I remember my dad, I've probably said this before, the most wonderful, lovely man. And we were in Ringwood one day when I was only little, and I'd come out of a shop and he was quite a long way from me. And then he shouted down the road my name. And so that's not, you wouldn't even think of that as a trauma. But for me as a sensitive child to be shown up like that, or I felt, but for him, that was just, he was calling me. But for me, it was like, oh, he's making a show of me, like no one
Yeah.
else would have took a blind bit of notice, but as a sensitive child. So it could be something as simple as that, like you say.
Yes. Can
And
we
then that's for us to heal, isn't it?
It is, and that's the call to action. So, and your memories tell you something. There's no accident that that memory came up when it did. There's no, and so that's what the invitation is to listen, is to really listen. These symptoms we have, these emotions we have, these physical diseases we have are your body's way of telling you something. Can I answer this question from Willow?
Yeah.
Simply, she's asking, is my pain in my body that I'm experiencing the diagnosis the doctor has given me, or is it from unresolved trauma? I'm going to answer this one because your higher self's asking me to. So So the answer is it's both. It's been manifest into physical as the quote unquote diagnosis that the doctor gave you, but it doesn't mean that the outcome needs to be what the diagnosis is. So the truth is, you are correct. It is unresolved trauma. That the root cause of this is, and I'm gonna ask it another couple of questions. Interesting. It's also related to something to do with your past life. So there's something happened in a past life, and this is sort of a loop that needs to be closed in this lifetime. So whatever it is the diagnosis is, has manifested, yes, into physical, but it doesn't mean that the diagnosis of, the outcome is what the doctor says or what they say it's going to be, and that there is a block coming from a past lifetime. In this case, it's not ancestral, which is interesting to me. Usually a diagnosis of something physical is usually in a miasm from ancestral, but in this case, it's not. So Willow, for you, yes, but there's something from your past life that needs to be reconciled for you to actually heal the root of what this is. That's the simple answer for you. So you can reach out to me. I can dig into this a little bit deeper, but that's where it's coming from.
Brilliant. Thank you. I'm going to go back to the first one that you spoke about, Lisa, but for everybody, and I can't show this because it's probably copyright, but this is Abraham Hicks. Do you know Jerry and Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks?
Of course,
Of
yes.
course, yeah. Well, they do that list, and so it's all your emotions, and the lowest emotion, fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. And the top one, joy, appreciation, and empowerment, freedom, and love. So, and then there's all those, that's number 22, fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. And what Esther always says, or Abraham through Esther always says, even if you're in fear, grief, depression, despair, or powerlessness, even if you can move up to insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness, you're moving up the scale. And the next one would be jealousy. And then number 19, hatred or rage. Number 18, revenge. Then up to anger, which is better than grief, or
And that's
depression.
actually coming from from Dr. R. Hawkins' work as well. Have you heard of Dr. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
reference Dr. Hawkins' work all the time. And he shows a really simple, if I can screen share, I have it, I can show it.
I'll make you a co-host.
Okay, so I use this all the time, and I'm glad you brought it up, because everything is about vibration, everything. So whether it's that information from Esther Hicks, or the research was actually done by Dr. R. Hawkins. So you can look it up. The book that would be really great to read is called Letting Go. He also has the Map of Consciousness and Power versus Force. Those are the three books, but let me just explain this and show you, mind my messy desktop here, everybody. But this is, I refer to this all the time. And a lot of the work that I do, I would say, even more so than healing, is mentoring. So exactly what you were saying here. So with 200 being truth and integrity, so Dr. Hawkins mapped the frequency of emotions as our map of consciousness, basically to calibrate where we're vibrating. So with 200 being courage, neutrality, and then up we go. And again, it's not about, you'd basically have to be Buddha by or Yejua by vibrating up here in 600, 700s. And back when he did this research in the 70s and early 80s, it would have been harder to vibrate up here from what he says in his research. And that makes sense to me. Now we are able to vibrate, and it's not a goal. It's not like I need to get to 700. That's not what this is about. But exactly what you were explaining, if you're vibrating in that loop, so let's take it back to Lisa. Um, Guilt, shame, apathy, you're vibrating really low, right? The density of you're vibrating there. So the opposite, let's say, of fear, I guess, would be faith, right? And so imagine shifting. So this is about transmuting energy, right? And keep in mind that we're more than our physical bodies. So our physical bodies are holding these emotions, and they actually get held in our bodies as walls and fields and mounds of emotions, that are like layered. All right. And that's held in our physical body, but it's also held in our auric fields. So this is actually the work. This is the foundation of the work, is starting to recognize. Now, remember earlier I said anger is actually a catalyst. But you see that it's not that low anger, right? I mean, it's not ideal. You don't want to be vibrating in anger all the time, but anger is the catalyst. So the anger comes up to show you something needs to be moved. So again, it's about figuring out where that anger comes from. What's the root of the anger? Where does it live on your body? And oftentimes, people who have different types of illnesses, anger, for example, lives in the liver primarily. So your body once again is showing you that there's incongruent frequencies living in your body, whether it's physical, emotional, energetic, or spiritual, or all of, right? And
Yes,
so that's why your body, in the situations that are happening in your life, your higher self is trying to show you all the time.
yes,
And it might not be here's the catalyst too. It may actually not be even yours. So I work with a lot of clients who are moving big things right now that are way bigger than them, and that are related to sort of their ancestors, their feminine bloodline. Like there's some big stuff we're moving out right now. So if I can also say that to everybody here, you may not even be, it might not even be yours. And it might not even be related to your current life situation, but it's coming up for you to look at it. And so again, the idea is, and we should all be at this point vibrating over 200. Because if we're not in, that's sort of the magic number of truth and integrity.
yes.
So I will
And
stop
it's
sharing.
not to say that anger is a bad thing either,
No,
because it's an emotion that needs to be looked at just the same as any other. So pushing it down is just not good.
nope, not good. Not good. And then so what you're going to find, and also, I guess back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the call, Jackie, this time that we're in a collective ascension, enlightenment, you know, increased, access to other energy time collectively, right? So the majority of people are on that timeline. Now it's up to you whether you want to do the work. This is the work. It's about recognizing what is coming up for you that's not happening to you.
Yes.
But that's a shift in consciousness. That's a shift in our, because we lived here for a very long time.
And our ancestors were indoctrinated the same as we were indoctrinated, and it's for us to awaken to that and realize what we have to move through. So if you're triggered on something, then that is something to look at that needs healing.
Yeah.
I would never have looked at it like that. You just...
Neither would I have,
No.
Jackie. Yeah. Never. I mean, I remember wallowing in the cycles,
Yes, yes.
the
And
guilt was
like when you get one compliment, 99 compliments and one criticism, what stays with you?
right.
But again, thank you. It's showing you something.
Right. Yes. And this kind of circles back to everything that you always talk about with Ho'oponopono and forgiveness,
Absolutely.
the vibration of forgiveness and self-love instead of unworthiness. And, yeah, there's just so many layers to it, but I just find it once, it's taken years here, okay, but and lots of experience working with people, but it's just so fascinating where we are now. And it's going to change everything once we all start to understand this way. And it's the longer way. And it's not the quick fix here. I'm going to give you a bandage and give you a pill. That's not how this works.
But it's well worth it for your sanity,
So,
for
well,
your...
and also your health.
Exactly, for your health, everything.
I witness miracles every day,
Yeah.
and what is a miracle? Something that you didn't think was possible in one reality, but it is possible, and there's proof that it happened. That's a miracle, right?
So here's another synchronicity. This is amazing that I'm reading this from Cynthia Nadalin. She started with aloha and she's finished with mahalo, which I guess is another Hawaiian saying. I know the aloha, and you're going to talk about Hawaii at the very end of this.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't it? Yeah. So Cynthia's saying, I've been healing severe osteo
Osteoporosis?
osteoarthritis, osteoarthritis, sorry, yeah, in my right hip instead of hip replacement, but there's a block somewhere around healing. Can you give me any insight?
Wow. Okay. Well, what's her name?
Cynthia.
Cynthia, I'm actually coming to Hawaii to do a retreat in person on the 12th of February. So there's only 5 spots. So maybe this is yours. I don't know. But
I'm
I
not
will
saying she's in Hawaii, but that's how she started it,
but
which
she
is
started with
amazing.
aloha, kind
Yeah,
of that is very interesting.
yeah.
Uh and I got ear ringing in my left ear. That's crazy. So that's your feminine ancestors calling you. Cynthia's her name?
Cynthia, yeah,
Yeah, your feminine ancestors are calling you. Left hip. Was it left hip,
yeah.
Jackie? Yep, that's feminine.
Oh, sorry, right hip.
Right hip, that's masculine. Right hip, also hip usually relates to the fight, flight, freeze sort of response that we get into. Hips is usually where we store that. Specifically, the right side hip is emotionally is related to busyness, overdoing, and overthinking. So there's lots of information already. It can also obviously be related to something and I'm going to check now. Is it related to busyness, overdoing, and overthinking? Absolutely, yes. It's also somewhat related to guilt and shame. There's something also here to do with your father. Um, I'm getting that I am getting that it's not physical. This is not physical. That's crazy cool because that means you can heal it. So whatever this diagnosis is not physical. It is manifested into physical, but you can heal it. So it is emotional. That's a yes, related to busyness, overdoing, overthinking, guilt and shame, perhaps something to do with your father. and also a fight, flight, freeze sort of response that is caused like wear and tear in the hip area. Hips are also your, they hold you upright, right? They're kind of, they're sort of a core anchor point, also related to your root chakra. This also makes sense. And there is something ancestral related here too. And there is also some karma, not karma, but there's like a contract or agreement you've taken on to either carry this or figure out what this is, this miasm of that diagnosis of the whatever osteoarthritis or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because is it ancestral? Definitely ancestral. So I'm seeing it as like a miasm. So something that your ancestors have experienced, probably on the masculine side. That's why it's on the right. And that's a yes. And it's something that you've agreed to heal, basically. There you have it.
Wow.
So that's what that is. But the good news here is it's not actually physical. So yes, it's manifested into physical, which it will. Your physical body will manifest, whatever that is, so that it's a signal to you that there is something that needs attention. But the root of it isn't physical. And most oftentimes, keep in mind too that our cell, we know this about cancers and these sorts of things that they come down through generations. Well, why? Because our cells, this is epigenetics, our cells are actually shifting based on trauma response. And all of our generations right now have had ancestors who've gone through wars and famines and scarcities and struggles, and that has affected our cellular memory or our cells, causing shifts in ourselves, and we're all carrying those cells. And then if they're activated here through stress or other things that may come up, that is why we're asked about, is this in your family? It's actually science, that we carry these things in our cells. So the good news is we are coming to a time in the world where beyond sort of Western medicine, not to say that Western medicine is not important, it is. A well-rounded sort of healing team is highly recommended. However, we all need to learn to tune into our own truth, not just what Alicia says or Jackie says or the doctor says, and that's the most important thing I can tell you here right now
Yes.
is that it's your truth. It's not what I say. It's not what the doctor says. It's somewhere in between, and you're the key to it.
Yes. Yeah. It takes a long time to realize that you truly do know yourself in a way. Yeah, just to listen to yourself. So you know clearly that if someone said go and jump off the cliff, you're not going to do that.
Right.
But it's for a more subtle thing, you still know the answer. You will or will not do it.
Right. And also back to I think it was Willow, diagnoses. She was given a diagnosis. So we accept that.
Yes.
When it comes from a doctor, we accept that, which means we also accept you know, I mean, nobody can predict the future. Miracles happen every day. No one can say, right? So the most important thing you can all learn right now, we can all learn right now, is our own truth, and
Yes.
how to listen to our truth and our intuition, and how to listen to ourselves when these things are presenting. They are happening for you. Everything is happening for you.
I always go back as well. I like to mention this because there might be people watching that's not heard that before. But with German new medicine, Bill always says, take a phone in. If you're going to go for a diagnosis, take a phone in with you. Put it on before you walk in the room. Put it down in front of the doctor and say, you don't mind, do you, if I record this? Because I'm, so that I'm the facts right. That will take the shock of any diagnosis away from you, but also the doctor will be very, very aware of how he probably would have spoke very nicely anyway, but he'd have to really double think how he speaks to you in
Yes.
giving any diagnosis.
Yes, that's a great idea. That's a
Yes.
great idea.
So last one, I'm just going to finish on this one, which is
Okay.
from my lovely friend Jack. Would love guidance. She has chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, family issues, lot of betrayal, struggle to move forward, sometimes where I would like to be, struggle with depression also. So
Okay.
that's, yeah, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, family issues, lot of betrayal, struggles to move forward, and sometimes where I'd like to be, struggle with depression also.
Okay. So number one, I would say the same thing I said earlier. With all of the, if you're dealing with a lot of things kind of piling up, you're definitely being called forward to awaken, to figure out what this is. If it keeps piling up, remember it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. I can tell you from what you're explaining that there's probably something physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual. And the other thing that I feel like I need to tell you right now that your higher self's telling me specifically is that you're an empath and you have not, you're a sensitive, you're highly sensitive, and you have not learned how to protect your energy correctly. Your auric field has lots of leaks. So we all have an auric field. It's yours is not strong. It has tears in it. Tears and leaks come through trauma, but also from not understanding that we have an auric field and that it needs to be protected and that we can actually do it. So that's the main reason you've asked this question is your higher self needs you to understand that, and it's so simple. It's a matter of coming into your heart. So I'm going to show everybody. I call this the Glenda the Good Witch bubble. So we should all be doing this, okay? Especially as empaths. So you're a clairsentience is one of your primaries. That's why you're having things like the fibromyalgia, it's body aches, right? So you're feeling the energy most likely of others, but you're also open to energetic or psychic attack because it's like you're walking around as a highly sensitive with like zero protection or awareness. So this is for actually anyone who's watching this is likely an empath or a clairsentient in some way. So everybody should be practicing this on a daily basis before you leave the house, as you come home. So we'll just do this exercise really quickly. Okay. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean the energy's not there. Okay. So just take it from me that you have an auric field and you need to put a bubble around it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, you can close your eyes or keep them open. You're going to use your breath. You're going to come into the center of your heart. You're going to make sure that you breathe again in through the nose, out through the mouth. Be very conscious with this breath. Notice now how you were not breathing before. As you breathe in and release, make sure you open your mouth to release. Good. Now I want you to imagine or feel an energetic bubble in your heart. Imagine a small bubble. And you're going to keep the breathing going. And you're going to use your imagination, your intuition. Some of you might actually see this in your mind's eye. And you're going to start to grow your heart light bigger and bigger and bigger. Keep going until that heart light is all the way around you. It could be even outside of the room that you're in. Just perceive it. It's real. And now you're going to add almost like a halo, a gold band around the outside of your auric field. And you're going to keep the breath going. And some of you may actually be able to perceive, now that I'm going to prompt you, the color inside your auric field. It should be something that looks like bright white or gold or multiple bright colors. It should look light. If it looks dark or shadowy or murky, I want you to use your breath and blow out the shadow color or the dark or the murky color outside of your bubble. Blow it out. Imagine we're in a fantasy movie right now, and you can either blow or use your hands to push it out of your bubble. Good. And then you're going to add one other layer outside of the golden light. You're going to add, I call it my disco ball. Add a little disco ball layer outside that. Now that disco ball is reflectors to reflect off energy. And then you're going to come back and bring your attention back into your heart. As always, I love you to imagine roots in your feet, feel your feet on the ground, and come back into the room. So you're going to do that exercise at least 2 times a day, especially before you go out into the world, to work, anywhere, to the grocery store, okay? Very important. We've never been taught. And we're energy beings and we're picking up off of signals. So a lot of that for her is emotions of others, psychic attack. So a lot of it's just triggers, but it's not even hers. The other piece of this is the fibromyalgia is also related to Epstein-Barr.
Yes.
And I've got a confirmation on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's quite a few things going on, but the primary message from your higher self was to remind you that you are an empath, you're a sensitive, you're a sentient, and you're becoming more and more, and that's why it seems to be getting worse and worse. So there's emotional factors, there is physical factors, and it's related to Epstein-Barr, the Epstein-Barr virus. That's a whole other piece. You can look up medical medium information related to Epstein-Barr. I did that myself, and I've healed all symptoms of ongoing activations or Epstein-Barr coming out of dormancy. But oftentimes fibromyalgia or autoimmune, especially in women, is related to Epstein-Barr. You can put it into dormancy. There's things that you can do, but it isn't the only thing. That is just one piece that your higher self is asking me to tell you.
Celery juice is also good for that.
I did celery juice detox actually in the early days. Yeah, it did help. And I recognize when the symptoms come on, there's so many things to learn, but you can actually put it back into dormancy and just simply say, I don't consent. I harmonize this. I remove any bacterias, any viruses, and it actually works.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the
Yeah.
majority of people at some point, or does have Epstein-Barr
Oh
virus.
yeah. Yeah. So EBV for short. Okay.
Yes.
But it's any kind of symptom. Mono is the first activation of Epstein-Barr. The medical medium breaks this kind of down. But I've experienced healing of symptoms that were related to Epstein-Barr. And so I've lived it. So I can actually tell you it's true.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, until a few years ago, I'd never even heard of it. But yeah, it's very, very normal for everyone to have some sort of symptom of it.
Yes. And if I can just end with this too, we all also need to realize that the struggles that we're moving through are usually related to our superpower. We're usually being shown what we need to heal because it's going to help others. So it may even be a simple matter of clearing your own ancestral line backwards and forwards. But, even in, my own personal story of awakening and healing, that led me here. And I have now worked with thousands of people at this point now. So if I hadn't done that, and if I hadn't had to go through this journey, then I wouldn't be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Quite incredible what your last 7 years have been like.
Yes, it will be a book at some
It
point.
will be, I'm sure. And just to finish, can you just mention this Hawaii?
Yes, so I am co-producing with my beautiful friend Ange, and she's been my client as well for 3 years. It's called the Heart Expansion Retreat in Hawaii. There's only 5 spots, so it's for 5 specific people. There's a lot about this trip, where it is. I know I'm meant to be in Hawaii. There's the island itself is magical. There's healing there, but between myself and Ange and the space that we'll hold for you for a 5-day, 5-night, 6-day retreat from the 12th to the 17th. We'll put the link in the notes here below. It's again February 12th to 17th, but there's only 5 spots. So, if this is calling to you, use that body pendulum. And we'll see you in Hawaii. I'm so excited to be there. I'll probably do some lives there as well. I think I'm going to be there for about a 2 week time period. It's going to be magical. I'm really excited.
I bet. God, I can't. You know, with Ho'oponopono, that is like it comes from Hawaii. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
not got that call in for that for February because it's a bit quick, but I
There's
would
only,
love to go. I'd
I
love to
don't think
hear
it'll
all.
be my last there.
No,
Uh,
exactly.
yes, but this one's going to be pretty incredible. And there's activations there for me too. I'm going to be staying about 14 days. Ange has been producing retreats. She's amazing herself. She just has this beautiful wild feminine energy. She's amazing. The two of us, the space we're going to hold, the things that we're going to do, she's going to be taking us to sacred sites. The retreat house itself is just stunning, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Brilliant. Thank you, anyone that's watched tonight. Thank you for your questions. Jack's very happy with what you've said. She doesn't protect herself enough. Do we ever, you know, automatically I always think of 50 meters of roses surrounding me. Someone said that once. It's just so instant. You can so quickly think, you know, I'm surrounded by 50 meters. Anything that comes at you, it just drops down.
Love it. Or
Yeah.
stick that disco ball up real fast if that one
Yes. Yeah.
resonates. Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of roses.
I know. Beautiful top. Love it. Lovely
Oh,
speaking to you again. We'll speak again soon, no doubt, Alicia.
okay. Lots of love to you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Lots of love. Thank you, anyone watching.
Bye.